Two of the most commonly known light aircraft during the 60s and 70s was the MiG-21 flown by the Soviets and the F-5 flown by the Americans. In this video, we're taking one MiG-21bis up against three of the F-5Cs. Now, the MiG-21 has some really good flight characteristics at higher altitude, and it also has much better air-to-air missiles carrying the R-60M and the R-3R. We're mostly going to be using the R-60M though. But against three of these F-5Cs, especially if they can get you down on the deck, it's just going to be a very hard time to actually beat these aircraft. Before we dive too far into this video, please make sure to hit that like button and subscribe, and join the Discord linked down below in the description. Now, the MiG-21 is not necessarily hopeless in a 3v1. Like I said, we do have far superior missiles, and these actually are really good in dogfights at closer ranges, especially if they don't even have time to get out of the way. Even flaring at really close ranges can still let the R-60Ms do their work. Overall, we're just trying, like I said, to really pressure one guy, target one guy, and then switch over targets. In a 1v3, really all you can do is try to get a target without getting nailed by, the two additional aircraft. Now, as you see there, we actually did get the kill on him pretty early on. We actually got a higher altitude spawn than these guys. And now what we're just going to do is we're trying to keep our speed alive, especially now that we're on the deck with two of the best F5, two of the best, literally two of the best aircraft in the game at low altitude raid fights. Now, I do want to say this is obviously player versus player. Some of these pilots, including myself, might not be using the aircraft to their entire strengths, and I understand that. We took what we had and we did what we did. So if you guys think there's a better way to actually use said aircraft, do let me know down below in the comments. Now, we do get off the missile here, and like I was saying, it can normally be effective at that. This time we were unfortunate, it was a little bit farther out and he was able to flare it. Now, one of the big things with the MiG-21bis that I have found to actually somewhat more enjoy is that higher altitude performance, especially at the higher speeds. But against three of these F-5Cs, once they get you slow or get you down on the deck, you're pretty much in trouble. Now, we do get an isolated fight here. We're going to definitely take advantage of this because, like I said, when you're in that 1v3 situation, you really want to take any opportunity you can to get a kill. And whereas when we are outnumbered, we do carry those R-60Ms, which, as you can see there, can very quickly, even out this fight. And now all we have here is another isolated 1v1, which, honestly, we should be able to win as long as he doesn't play to his entire strengths, which I don't think he ends up doing very well. He's staying in a more high AOA dogfight with me, which I should be able to win for the most part. Now, the MiG-21 is a half-decent aircraft for ARB. Now, I know a lot of players complain about its low speed and on-the-deck performance, especially going up against things like the F-5C, but I don't really have too many issues with it. Yes, it is much better at a high altitude as a high-altitude aircraft, but it is quite fun to fly, and I don't actually mind getting in dogfights down on the deck, especially if you can get an isolated one like this. And you will find that using landing flaps, you're able to pull around the MiG-21's nose quite well, and it's just one of those things that you can do it successfully, and I do it all the time. It's just you have to find the right moment to do it. Now, obviously, we've kept him out in front pretty well. We're all real slow, and I have way more AOA potential than he does. So there's not a whole lot he can do here. He needed to get it down in a raid fight. He didn't. He needed to get me off his 6, and he also didn't. So we're just going to isolate him out in front of our nose, and then either kill him with an R-60M or just gun him. He kind of gets a little low and slow here, has to pull up to avoid the ground, and, at this point, there's not a whole lot he can do. His pilot decides he wants to live. So, my conclusion for this is the MiG-21bis obviously is a higher BR than the F-5C for a reason. It does carry the more advanced air-to-air missiles and a radar. The F-5C is still a great gunfighter. I'd argue possibly in a lot of cases better than the MiG-21. In these 1v3s, at least with what we tested and what we've found, the MiG-21 can absolutely, if it can get isolated fights and get good target engagements, it can absolutely beat three of the F-5Cs. It's not necessarily a massive hassle. Obviously, when you're going up against three aircraft at any point in time, you're going to have issues, especially if they are coordinated. And in ARB, and not a lot of the teammates are not necessarily going to be as coordinated as when you have just three guys in a VC coordinating all the time. Anyways, let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. What other aircraft do you want us to test in these dogfights? Please let me know. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. And do join the Discord, link down below in the description. We're getting kind of close to 1,000 members, and that'd be super cool. We're also trying to get to 5,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I really wanted to hit 15, but we're just not having the growth that I necessarily needed to get that. But let me know your thoughts down below, and I hope to see you guys in a later video.